Quick demo of this video tutorial. This is a video on how to implement ASP.NET MVC CRUD operations using Datatable and Ajax request. This is the output of this tutorial. We will create this application from scratch. With this application, you can insert new records like this. Click on submit. So here we have added new record for Fiona. Here you can see the beautiful success message. In order to update existing records, you can click on this edit button here. I want to change this as James Jones. So I can do this. Then click on submit button here. So here we have updated record for James. In order to delete unwanted records, you can click on this delete button here. Then confirm the operation. So here we have deleted the record. After all, this is a jQuery data table, so you can do searching, sorting and paging in this table. I am sure you will find this tutorial helpful for your upcoming projects. So please watch till the end of this video. What's up YouTube? Welcome to .NET More. This is a video in the series of jQuery data table and ASP.NET MVC integration tutorial. This is a step-by-step tutorial on ASP.NET MVC CRUD operations using Datatable plugin. We will implement CRUD operations like insert, update and delete in MVC using Entity Framework. Are you excited? Without further ado, let's get started. Before that, I would like to ask you a favor. If you found this video helpful, please thumbs up this video, and for more awesome videos like this, please be subscribed to this channel .NET More. We are going to implement this application from scratch. This is my Visual Studio 2013. First of all, we have to create an MVC application. For that, click on new project or go to file, then new, then project, or you can use the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+N. From the left panel, select Web under Visual C#, then select ASP.NET Web Application. Then I will name this application here. I will name it as ASP.NET MVC CRUD. Then select the location where you want to save this application and click on OK. Select MD template, then check MVC, click on add. So here we have a brand new ASP.NET MVC application. Now we have to create a database for this application. This is my management studio. Here we are connected to SQL Server 2012 Express Edition. Now we want to create a database. For that, right click on databases, then click on new database. Name your DB here. I will name it as MVC CRUD DB. Then click on OK. Newly created database can be seen here. Now we want to create a new table. For that, right click on tables, then new table. First column, employee ID. Data type will be integer, then name as worker 50. Then we have position as worker 50. Then we have office as worker 50. Then we have age as integer. Then we have salary as integer. Now I will set this employee ID as the primary key for this table, and I want to set the same column as the identity specification for the table. So go to column properties, then expand identity specification, then set this is identity as yes. In order to save this table, you can use the shortcut Ctrl+S or click on this save button here. I will name this table as employee. Click on OK. Newly created tables can be seen under this tables node here. Now we want to add entity model for this table. Back to Visual Studio. Then right click on models, add new item. Select data from the left panel, then select ADO.NET entity data model. I will name this model as DB models. Click on add, then select generate from database. Click on next, click on new connection. Here we need to provide server details and DB name. For me it is local /SQLE 2012. Then I will select the database from this drop down as MVC CRUD DB. Then click on OK. After creating this entity model, there will be a class with this name. In order to interact with the database, we have to use an object of this class. So I will change this class name as DB model. Click on next. If you have more than one entity framework, you have to select one of them. I will select entity framework 6.0. Click on next. In this step, we have to select database object that we need to add in the entity model. So I will select the employee table, then click on finish. Under models folder, here we have added ADO.NET entity data model for the database as DB models. This is the diagrammatic representation of employee table. Do you know how to check MVC version in this application? Go to references, then look for system.web.mvc, right click on it, then click on properties. Here you can see the version 5.0. If your MVC version is below 5.1, you have to update into 5.1. Because in this application we are going to use features that is introduced in 5.1. So I'm going to update this solution into MVC 5.1. For that, you can use this command in your package manager console. I have given this command in video description. Let me copy this. Select the solution, then tools, library package manager, then package manager console. After the PowerShell initialization, we will paste the command here. Click enter. It will take some time. After that, if you check the MVC version, it should be updated to MVC 5.1 like this. Now we have to add Bootstrap into this application. For that, right click on project, then click on manage and you get packages. Then type Bootstrap here, Bootstrap. Click on install. And we have successfully added Bootstrap into this application. In this application, we are going to implement CRUD operations using jQuery, dialog, and entity framework. So we have to add jQuery UI into this application. So search for jQuery UI. Now I'm going to install this jQuery UI combined library. Click on install. Now close this package manager. From the installation of Bootstrap and jQuery UI, here we have three new folders: content, fonts, and scripts. Inside contents, you can see the style sheet for the Bootstrap. Then this is the theme for jQuery UI. Then we have fonts for jQuery UI. Then we have scripts for Bootstrap, jQuery UI, and jQuery library. Now I am going to add an employee controller into this application. Right click on controllers, then add controller. I will select MVC5 controller empty. Click on add. I will name this controller as employee. Click on add. So here is the new controller employee. Inside that you can see the default index action. I'm going to set this employee controller as the default controller inside the root config file, replacing home with employee. Now we need to create a view for this index action. Right click here, then add view. Keep the view name as it is, index, then template will be empty. Use layout page is checked. Click on add. After adding this index view, here you can see a new folder shared inside views folder. Inside that we have a file _layout.cshtml. So this will be the layout page for this view. Inside the scripts folder, you can see new script files for jQuery validate and jQuery validate.unpositive. So these two files will be helpful to implement client-side validation in this application. Now I'm going to edit this default layout page. I'm going to remove this header from the layout page. And I want to change this layout page footer as ASP.NET MVC CRUD Operations. using Datatable plugin. Saving and back to the view page index. I want to change this title as employee list. I want to change this H2 header as employee CRUD operations. Now let me add an HTML table here. Table ID will be employee table, T head. Inside that we have a single row, and we need to add th element for each columns. So starting with name column, then th for position, th for office, th for age, finally salary. In order to convert this HTML table into jQuery data table, we have to add these references. Style sheet reference, let me copy the path and adding here, pasting the link inside the href. Now we need to add scripts inside this view page. For that, I'm going to add a new section here. At render section, I will name this section as scripts, and we will set it required as false. Now we can use this scripts section inside this view page. So starting with add section scripts. First of all, we will add this script reference, copying, and we need to paste it here. Script src. Now we can write the custom script code here. Script inside document.ready function, document.ready. First of all, we will convert this table into jQuery data table. For that, we can do this. Let me copy this table ID from here. And now we need to call the function Datatable. Datatable. Inside this function, we have to pass configuration settings for the table. First of all, I will type them. After that, we will discuss. First of all, Ajax URL is equal to /employee get data, and then type will be get, then data type will be JSON. After Ajax, we have columns property. For that, we will pass an array here. Let me increase the zoom level of this editor. First of all, data is equal to name. Like this, we have to pass objects for remaining 4 columns. For that, I'm going to copy this and paste it below that 4 times. And now we need to change this position, then office, age, and salary. First of all, here we have the Ajax request to retrieve data to populate this HTML table. Its URL will be /employee/getlist. So there should be an action method get data inside employee controller of the type get, and it should return a JSON data to populate this HTML table here. So here is the columns property. It tells properties from JSON data to be binded with these columns. So it should be in the order as that of th elements here. Now let me set CSS class for this table. Class is equal to display. Now we need to create this action method get data inside employee controller. For that we can type this public action result get data. In order to retrieve data from the SQL Server Database, we are going to use this class employee here. So I'm going to import this namespace into the employee controller. Let me copy that. Then using statement using, that's it. Now we can start with using statement here. DB model as DB is equal to new DB model, and we are going to create an object of employee list here, employee as emp list, db dot employees to list. We'll convert them into employee list here. Finally we will return it as JSON data, JSON new data is equal to emp list, and finally we have to set the JSON request behavior as allocate. Before running this application, we have to check the layout page here. So here we have the style sheet reference for site.css. Inside the content folder you can't see the file site.css, even though we need that file for custom CSS in this application. So I will add the file here, right click, then add, click on style sheet. I will name this file as it is site.css. Click on OK. Right now I will keep this file as it is. Later we can add new rules into this file. Then we have bootstrap reference. Then we have reference for modernizer. We don't want that here. Now we need to check the JavaScript reference. Here we have specified jQuery 1.10.2. This is old one. Here you can see the latest 12.4. So I will edit this version here. Then bootstrap reference. Let me save all of the edits here. Now we need to run this application. For that, hold Ctrl then press F5. So here we have a default normal jQuery data table. Employee table is empty, so there is no row inside this data table. Now I want to use Bootstrap 3 in this jQuery data table. For that, go to the official website, then click on examples. In the bottom of the page, there you can see the Bootstrap 3 integration. So we will get a nice and sweet look like this. For that, we have to add this JavaScript reference. Let me copy this. And we have to add the reference here. Script src is equal to, I will paste the path here. Now let's check what we have got inside the CSS. This one is already there. Now we need to add this reference. Let me copy this and pasting here. Now we need to change this CSS class here. Table space table strip space table border. Now we can remove this default style sheet link from here, saving and reloading this page. Boom! Here we have the new look for jQuery data table. This sorting icon is my main attraction. Now we are going to do full CRUD operation using Datatable in ASP.NET.MVC. For that, first of all, I will add a add new button here in order to add new employees into this table. For that, go to the index view, then we can add anchor tag here, and we will use classes from Bootstrap btn space btn default, and we will set the button text as add new. Saving and reloading this page, we need to add a gap between this button and table. For that, I will add the attribute style here, then setting margin bottom is equal to 10px. Saving and reloading this page. Now let me add font awesome icon into this button. For that, I will use this style sheet path here. Inside the index page link, I will paste the link here. Now I will select an icon for this add new button from the website. Add new, I will select this one. For that, we can do this I tag, then class is equal to far space far plus closing this I tag, saving and reloading this page. So here we have added font awesome icon to this button. With this, we will add new record into employee tab. For that, I'm going to add action method related to this operation inside employee controller. Public action result add or edit. This action is of the type HTTP GET, and we need one more action add or edit of the type HTTP POST. So with this action method, we will do two operations, add or edit or insert and update. For now, we will do the insert operation, int id, and we will set the default value as 0. So here we will return the view for this action. Inside that, we have to pass an object of employee class here. Now we need to create a view for this add or edit action method. Right click, add view, keep the view name as it is, empty template, uncheck layout page, click on add. So this will be a partial view, so I will remove these codes from here, and here we have set layout page as null, so we don't have any layout page for this view. Now we need to use this employee class inside this view add or edit. So I will copy this namespace from here. We need to declare the model class here, model. Let me paste the namespace here, dot employee. Now we can start designing our add or edit view. We will start with using statement here. In order to add form element, we can do this HTML dot begin form. Inside that, we have to pass the post action URL. So add or edit, then controller name, it will be employee. So this form will post data into this action method add or edit of the type post. Then we will set the form method as post here, form method dot post. We need to add few more attributes here that we can do later. First of all, we need to add hidden field for employee ID, HTML dot hidden for model dot employee ID. Then div element class will be form group. So these classes are from Bootstrap. First of all, label for name. For that, HTML dot label for model dot name. Now we need to set CSS class for this label. For that, we can do this at class is equal to control label. After label, we have to add text box. For that, we can do this html.editor for model.name. In order to set CSS class for this editor, we have to do this new HTML attributes is equal to new at class is equal to form control. In order to work this way of assigning CSS class into editor or text box in MVC, we have to update into MVC 5.1. Like this, we have to add 4 more label text box pair for remaining columns. So I will copy this and pasting here 4 times and changing name to position. After that, we have office, then age, then salary. Finally, we will add 2 buttons for submit and reset. Let me copy this div and pasting here. Input type will be submit. We don't need this name attribute here. Value will be submit, and I will set CSS class here btn, then btn primary. Let me copy this button from here, submit button, and pasting below that, changing type to reset and value will be reset. I will change this class as btn warning, saving. So here we have added view for insert and update operation. We can use the same view for update operation also. We will discuss that after insert operation. For now, I will return a view from this post action method. We can edit this action later. Let me run this application. If user click on this add new button, we will open this add or edit view in a pop-up using jQuery UI. Before that, we have to edit this label text no data available in table. First of all, I will set the width of the table as 100%. For that, style is equal to width will be 100%. In order to change this label text, we have to add the property language here. Language is equal to empty table. Now we can set the message here. It will be like this: no data found. Please click on add new button. I want to highlight this text add new. For that, I will enclose b tag around this text. Saving and reloading this page. That's it. No data found. Please click on, small mistake. Saving and reloading. No data found. Please click on add new button. When user click on this add new button, we need to show this add or edit in a pop-up window using jQuery UI or jQuery dialog. For that, we have to add the jQuery reference inside the layout page. First of all, I will add the CSS reference that can be found in the folder theme, then base, jQuery UI, drag this into the place. Then we need to add the script reference that should be inside the scripts folder, jQuery UI min.js, drag them here. Now we need to add an event for this add new button. On click is equal to pop up form. We will call this function. Inside this function, we have to pass the URL for add or edit view. So for that you can do this at url.action, then add or edit, then controller name will be employee. In order to pass URL in reserved views, it would be better to use url.action. You can do this as well, /employee add or edit, but there might be a problem after deploying this application in client system. So better to use this url.action method. Now we have to create this function popup. First of all, let me declare two variables here, popup and Datatable, and I will assign this Datatable into this variable. Now we are going to create a new function popup form. So function popup form, let me copy this function name from here and pasting here, and here we have a parameter URL. First of all, I will declare form div here, form div, and I will assign a div into this element like this, div /. Now we need to set HTML of add or edit view into this form div. For that I will make a get request here, get, we want to pass the URL here. After fetching the data, we will call this done function here. We have a parameter response, that means the HTML of this add or edit view will be inside this variable. Now we need to assign this HTML into this form element, form div. For that we can do this form div dot HTML response. Now we will open this div inside the jQuery UI popup. For that I will use this variable here, popup, and pasting here is equal to form div dot dialog. Inside that we have to pass few options for configuring this popup. First of all, auto open is equal to true, then resizable is equal to false, so we don't allow resizing of the form. Then title, we can set the title here. I will set it as fill employee details. I will set the height and width here. Height will be 500, then width will be 700, then close function. So this function will be called when popup is closed. Inside that we will destroy this popup, dialog destroy, and finally call remove function. Saving and reloading this page, let me click on this add new button here. So here we have the popup form to add new employees into this table. I want to change the CSS class for this reset button back to the view add or edit, and I want to remove this btn warning from here. I'm going to add a new class for this add new button. For that, inside the index view, want to add btn success. Saving and reloading this page. One more change, I want to add $symbol inside this salary text box. For that, back to the add or edit view. So that can be done using the input group add-on. Div is equal to input group, and we will place this div right above the text box here, and we will close this div after the text box, and we will add the dollar symbol here. Span class is equal to input loop add-on, then dollar symbol. Saving and reloading this page, click on add new button. So here we have the dollar symbol here. After filling employee details in this form, we have to submit into the post action add or edit. Here we need to save the posted data into employee table. For that, I will declare employee object here as emp, and we can save this object into the table using statement db model as db is equal to new db model db dot employees dot add emp. Then we will call the function save changes. After all, we have to return JSON data here. Return JSON new success is equal to true, then message saved successfully. Finally, we have to set the JSON request behavior as allocate. Now I am going to add on submit event for this form that we can do inside the add or edit view. I'm going to add new attribute here. For that, new on submit is equal to, we will call new function here, return submit form. As a parameter, we will pass this form object inside the function. So now we need to declare this JavaScript function inside the index view function, and we have a parameter this that will be the form. So I will declare this variable as or parameter as form. So here we are going to make an Ajax request. For that, you can do this Ajax first parameter is type, so it will be post in this case, then URL that we can pass from this form action, form.action, then form data. For that, we can serialize the form data here, form.serialize. Now we will declare the success function here. Success is equal to a new function, and we have a parameter data to receive response from the post action URL. If data dot success, if success is equal to true, then we will close this pop-up window. For that, we can do this pop-up window dot dialog close. After that, we will refresh this table. For that, we can do this. Let me copy the object Datatable from here and pasting here dot Ajax dot reload. Finally, we have to return false from this function in order to avoid the default submit event. Now we need to set required field for this form. I will set name and position as a mandatory for this form. And finally, we will do the client-side validation in this form. First of all, go to the class employee here, and we will set the required attribute here, required. For that, we have to import the namespace system.componentModel.data annotations, and we will pass the error message here. We'll set it as this field is required. I will copy this attribute from here and pasting here for position. Now we need to implement client-side validation. For that we have to use script files for jQuery validate here, jQuery validate.min, then jQuery validate.unpositive. So make sure that these script files are added in the same order as we have added here. Otherwise there might be some problem. In some case you may not see this close button here. So try to add script files in this order. Now back to the index view. Before submitting this form we have to initialize the validation. For that we can do this validator dot and be intrusive dot parse. Inside that we will pass the form here. Before making this post request we will check is there any validation error or not. If there is no error then we will do this post request. For that we can do this form valid. So if it is valid then we will do the Ajax request. In order to show these validation error messages we have to add new element here, HTML dot validation message for model dot name. Let me copy this and pasting here position, changing name as position. Build this solution, reload this page, click on add new button. So I am going to submit this form without entering any mandatory fields, name or position. Click on submit. So here we have an error, validation failed for one or more entities. That means our client-side validation is not working. Let me check the function submit form validator dot so here we have missed O here. Let me save this and reload this page. Click on add new, submitting form without entering mandatory fields. So here we have the validation error messages. Now I am going to set CSS style for validation failed control and validation error message. For that we will use this style sheet here. Inside content there we have added empty style sheet site.css. For now I will copy paste the CSS rules here and saving. Reload this page, click on add new button again, click on submit. So here we have added CSS styles for validation error message. Now I am going to add a new employee. For that James Smith, software engineer, then office London, age 23, salary. Click on submit. Oh my god, it's working. I'm just kidding. Let me check the SQL Server table employee. Right click on employee, then select top 1000 rows. So here we have added new record for James Smith. During operations like insert, update, delete, we need to show notification message like saved successfully, updated successfully, deleted successfully. For that we will use this plugin notify.js. Let me download the script file for the plugin. So here we have downloaded the plugin. Now we need to add this plugin file into this project. For that right click on scripts folder, then add existing item. So I will select the item from my desktop. This is the file, click on add. So now we need to add this plugin file inside the layout page. So I will drag this notify.min.js here. Now we can make notification messages like this. Okay. For now I will explain whatever needed for this application development, even though you can check the official website notifyjs.com. I have been using this plugin in my live projects it was working fine. In order to show the success message, we can do this. Notify. First parameter will be the message itself, data.message. So this message property is passed inside the employee controller as saved successfully. Then we need to pass an option object here, global position. We will set it as top sender. Class name as success. Global position is used to position the notification. In this case it is top sender, so it will come right here. Then we have class name, that is success. So the styling of the message will be like this, success. Other than that, you can have info, warn, and error. In order to check the working of this plugin, let me save this and reloading this page. Click on add new. I will add a new employee here, Maria. Position will be accountant. Office will be in San Francisco. Then age will be 35. Then salary. Click on submit. So here we have added Maria, and here we can see the success message saved successfully. Now we need to add one more column for edit button and delete button. For that, I will add an empty th element here, and we need to pass one more object for the last column here. Data will be employee ID. Render function, we will declare a function here, So basically inside the function we are going to return HTML string for two buttons. So we can do this return anchor tag for first button, class is equal to btn default, and we want the smaller version, btn sm. Now we need to add far icon into this button. So let me select one icon for edit button. I will select this one, far pencil. Class is equal to far space far pencil. Then button text will be edit. Let me close this anchor tag. I will copy this one and pasting here for delete button. I want to change the class as btn danger. Then we need to select one far icon for this delete button, delete. So I will select this one, far trash. I will change the button text as delete. Let me save this and reload this page. We need to add a gap between these buttons, and we need to avoid sorting on this column. So for the delete button, I will add style attribute here. Style is equal to margin left is equal to 5px. In order to avoid the sorting, we can do this. Orderable is equal to false. And finally we have to set the width is equal to 150px. Let me add a space between this far icon and text. One space here and one space here also. Saving and reloading this page. Okay, that's enough. Now we are going to implement edit operation. For that, we have to change or update this add or edit get and post action method. So with this get action method, we will show form for insert and update. For insert operation, URL will be like this: employee/add or edit. And for edit operation, URL will be like this: employee/edit/ then ID of employee. So if ID is equal to 0, we will do this. ID is equal to 0, we will do this. In the else part, we have to return the object for corresponding ID. So using statement db model as db is equal to new db model. Let me copy this return statement from here and pasting here. db dot employee var x such that x dot employee ID is equal to given ID. Finally, we will call the first or default method employee. So here is the add or edit view. Here we have a hidden field for employee ID. For insert operation, this hidden field value will be 0, otherwise there will be a non-zero value. Now we need to change this add or edit post action method. If emp dot employee ID is equal to 0, then we will do this. Otherwise, we have to update given object. For that, we can do this db dot entry. Inside that, we have to pass this employee object here. Emp dot state is equal to entity state. For that, we have to import this namespace system.data.entity.modify. Finally, call the function db.savechanges. Let me copy this return JSON statement and pasting here. And we want to change this message as updated successfully. So here we have done with add or edit, get and post request. Now back to the application. When user click on this button, we have to open a form like this by filling details of this same Smith record. For that, I will use the on-click event of this button. Back to the index view. For that, we have to edit this string here. We have a parameter here, data, so that will be equal to the employee ID of the row. And we will add on-click event here. On-click is equal to, we will use this same class here, popup form. We need to change the URL with ID here. At URL dot action add or edit, then controller employee, then we will add a / here. Now we need to concat employee ID here. For that, let me copy this data and pasting here. Data means ID of employee ID of current row. Sorry, we don't need these single quotes here around the function popup form. Now let me build this solution and reload this page. Now if you inspect this element, you should see the on-click event here. It is calling the function popup form, passing the URL for editing the corresponding row. Now if you click on this edit button here we have a pop-up form filled with details of James Smith. Now we can edit this employee's details here. Now I'm going to change this Smith into Jones. Click on submit. So here it is updated. You can see the updated successfully message here. So we are implementing jQuery Datatable CRUD operations using jQuery UI. We have implemented insert and update operation. Next we have to do delete operation. Before that I have to remove searching from the last column. For that we can do this searchable is equal to false. In order to implement delete operation, I have to create a new action method here. Public action result delete, and we have a parameter id, integer id. So this id means employee id. So this delete action is of the type http post. So if you are going to implement delete operation, try to implement that using post request, not with the http get request. So we need to delete the corresponding employee here. db model as db is equal to new db model, and we will declare an employee object here. emp is equal to db dot employees dot var x such that x dot employee id is equal to given id. Finally, we will call the function first or default. We want to convert that into employee list. Now we can delete this employee here. For that, we can do this db dot employees dot remove, and we will pass this emp object here, emp, and finally call the function db dot save changes. That's it. Finally, we will return a JSON data. Return JSON new success is equal to true. Then we will set the message here, deleted successfully. And we have to set the JSON request behavior as allocate. JSON request behavior allocate. Now we have to add on-click event for this delete button. For that, I'm going to edit action column string HTML string here. So we want to add on-click event for delete button. I will do that here. On-click is equal to delete, and we have to pass id here. For that, I will concat data here. Data means employee id of the row. Build solution. Now reload this page. Now if you inspect this delete button here, you should see the on-click event, on-click delete. Now we need to create this JavaScript function delete. Function delete, we have a parameter id. First of all, we will ask for confirmation here. Confirm, using the function confirm, we can do that. Are you sure to delete this employee record? So here we will ask confirmation, are you sure to delete this record? So if user click OK, then we will execute this if statement here. Inside that, we will make a post request here. For that, we can do this Ajax. First of all, we have to pass the type of request. So it will be post here, then URL at URL dot action, then action name will be delete, then controller name employee. Finally, we will put a / here, then we will concat the id here. Finally, we have success function, and we have a parameter data to receive response from the server. If data dot success, if it is equal to true, we have to reload this page and we will show the message deleted successfully. For that, let me copy these two codes from here and pasting here. This one will reload the data table and this will show the message deleted successfully. Saving and reloading this page. Now I am going to delete this record for Maria. Click on delete. Are you sure to delete this employee record? Click on OK. So here we have deleted Maria record successfully. Here you can see the success message. So we implemented ASP.NET MVC CRUD operations using Ajax and Datatable plugin. I have spent a lot of time for this tutorial. Please leave your feedbacks in the comment box below. That's it guys, you can download this project source code from the link given below in video description. If you find this video helpful, please thumbs up this video, and for more awesome videos like this, please be subscribed to this channel. .NET Mob. Have a nice day. Bye.